Louie Anderson has been in Baskets for 4 seasons, playing Mrs. Baskets. It's a role that's won him an Emmy Award. I'm Matt Noble from Gold Derby, here to ask you, Louie, looking back on your 4 years on Baskets, what has that experience meant to you?
Well, great to see you, Matt. I hope you and your family are well. I guess the thing I thought of first was, I wish that I would have been quarantined with those guys. That would have been really fun. With Christine during the quarantine, it would have been really interesting, because as much as she would have gotten upset about it, she would have been in seventh heaven with all those sets of twins, Martha, Ken, and probably all her girlfriends happened to be in the same place, so they couldn't leave. Some fun thing like that. That would have been a great episode. But I guess what I really got out of it was how much the show meant to me, how much the role did for me, and how much I love and miss all those people. Because it was like a family, including the cast and crew, and all the my friends at FX. It's been interesting, Matt. I've been rewatching all the seasons.
Wow.
And it's amazing, because I only ever watched the show the night it was on. I never watched it otherwise. I didn't go back and look at stuff, but now I've been watching it with a brand new perspective after finishing 4 seasons. And I'm so grateful that we had that 4th season, because I think it made a big difference and gave Jonathan and Zach and all the people involved, all the writers, a chance to kind of wrap it up the best you could in that situation. So what it means to me most is that it's a pivotal point in my life, doing that for 4 years, working with all those great people and finding out so much about my mom and what she must have went through. That was really the big takeaway from that. We just had Mother's Day, and the book, I wrote a book because of that. One day I came home, I was very emotional. I was doing a scene with Ken, and I was hugging him, and I thought to myself, was my mom, who's right behind us, by the way, in that picture with my dad holding her hostage. And I wondered, I asked myself, it was very emotional, was my mom ever this happy? And that opened up a floodgate, and I wrote my mom all these letters, asking her all the questions and telling her I was playing her on TV, and it was a really cathartic experience for me. I took a lot of joy away from it, though. Chip, stop it! Sakes. Just kidding, Chris. That's how much I like the show. I just yell that out occasionally.
Oh,
to the Chip character. Did I scare you a little bit?
I don't. Do you have a dog called Chip? Did you name a dog after you?
Yeah. No, it's just so funny. I'm just kidding. Yeah. I don't know if I answered your question. I probably over-answered it.
No, you did. And just reflecting on your mother, someone who you're portraying a mother, and with your mother influencing your portrayal so much. What was something that was special about your mum that you brought to this character?
Well, all of her nuance, all of her tiny little gestures, all of her pursed lips and, eyebrows and sounds, all that stuff that she was so good at. And also her humanity. That's the thing I stuck in there as much as possible. Here, she loved people, and even though they disappointed and hurt her feelings and all those things, she always loved the idea that a person, she could see human beings for what they could be, more than what they were often. And so I tried to bring that into the character. I think that's why sometimes people will say, write me an email and say, I wish Christine was my mom. And so I think that I was able to bring that motherhood that she so beautifully portrayed in my mind, at least, raising 11 children with an alcoholic father. So,
yeah. What was the last scene you shot? Was it the last scene that you were in the series?
Let's see. We usually did shoot like that with some pickups. I think it was. Forgive me. I think it's where my. I think it was me finding out or figuring out that my life was in Denver, and we're in the U-Haul, and Dale Ken's, Ken, get in the car, get in the truck, and Chip's across on the driver's side in the window, and he says, I love you, Mom. Or he climbs in and tells me he loves me. And it was very emotional. It was super emotional because we were going to drive out of there. And that was it. That was it. They were going to be on their own, and I'm going to be on my own. And I think that was significant. I think that was, I was, going to start my new life with Ken. And I was going to let these guys, my sons, excuse me. I think I got that cough from you.
Yeah, I did before we recorded. Do you need to get any water, Louie?
I think I'm okay, but you know what? I think I will, just because you wouldn't.
Yeah. Before we started recording, I had a bit of a cough.
Huh? A bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be my mom. She would say that then. So I guess it was that driving away, I was starting my new life, and they were going to have to be on their own and figure out things for themselves. And I think everybody was content with that and looking forward to that. So I guess that was the last scene I think we shot.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's lovely. There's the second last episode, Mrs. Baskets goes to Sacramento. You have a pretty big scene. You've gone to City Hall in Sacramento. You're arguing against why there should be a rail, and you change your mind up on the stand. Or at least Christina's, at least your character changed their mind up on the stand. What was it like shooting that scene?
It was very hard because it was a lot of work, a lot of moving parts in that scene, a lot of camera angles and stuff. And, I had to I had to switch from being against something to be suddenly for it. And Chip hears me say it to other people before I said it to him. Mm-hmm. And then I turned and saw him, and he walked out. And I think it was another beat of him growing up, like, oh, I can't depend on her. I was pretty good at that, running the rodeo, but she doesn't care one bit about it. And she obviously doesn't care one bit about me. I think that was maybe the tone of that. But that was a great scene because I love how Jonathan set it up. You've always dreamed of going to get up to a place like Sacramento and protesting and speaking up for something you believe in, and the fact that you're a business owner, and you know, it was all that good stuff. It was beautiful stuff. And I just, you know, I always thought my mom could have been a really great politician. So I really tried to embody her going up there. And then I loved when the character became my mother and saying, you know, I don't have anything against this. I was talked into being against this, but my life isn't here anymore. My life is in Denver with Ken. And I think it was a pretty emotional scene. I know afterwards, and even now, it was an emotional scene. It was a very emotional scene.
Yeah, and like the show is really good at touching on these emotional, personal dynamics and relationships and decisions. But it's also a really funny show too. That's right. It's also a really funny show too. What do you think do you have a funniest scene from the series over the course of the 4 years?
Well, in season 4, me spanking him in the barn.
Yeah.
That was really hard to shoot, and I really tried to be real about it. You know how hard it would be when you're an adult and you have to spank your son who's an adult, and how everybody's taken kind of by surprise by that. That's a wonderful one. I mean, there's some tremendous stuff, you know, when Zach plays Dale, and he's so crazy, you know, down in that trailer area with all those people. And, you know, when Dale is at full strength, he's someone to really be reckoned with. And he has instant karma. It comes back and gets him every time. I guess Martha, the funny scene where Martha goes off and tells people off, is a fabulous scene. I guess the funniest one, if you want to go with slapstick, which, you know, Zach is a great slapstick actor. When we fall down the state capitol steps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. And we go right down, and it was so beautifully shot, and it looked so real. And then every time, for me, it was so funny because every time Chip would Zach would go to pull me up, right, in the scene to my feet.
Yeah.
He would fall down on top of me on purpose. And it would just make me laugh so much. I guess that, you know, that whole thing of all of us being in that thing and the outfits we wore and how crazy we really were about the whole fiasco. I think that, but I do love the scene where I'm spanking him. I think it's a big turn in that scene where I say, you know, we both got to change. I think we say that. I'll be a better me and you be a better you. And then I say, where'd that goat go? And it was just it was beautiful. You know, the show is beautifully shot, beautifully written. And, you know, I feel like so honored to be a part of it.
Yeah. How did it make you as an actor or as a person, if you want, how did it make you a better you, Louie?
A better what?
How did it make you a better you?
Well, you know, I learned so much acting wise. You know, Jonathan really, and Zach is a great actor to watch in person working with them. So I think I became more of me as an actor. But I think what made me better was, you know, when you're around Zach Galifianakis, all these people, and Jonathan Kreisel and Sally Sulander, and, you know, just the directors, and I can't remember everybody's name. I can, but, you know, you get that. But, and Martha, what I saw was that these actual show was about a bunch of misfits in Bakersfield. And we are all misfits in Hollywood. And we all found better lives throughout the series. And I think how it made me better actually was that I was so grateful, because I'm a stand-up comic. So as a stand-up comic, I feel like I don't need anyone because it's a solo performer, and
Yeah.
you think you're the greatest and all the funniest, and you really think you're a big shot sometimes, at least I do, and have earlier in my life especially. But it was a great opportunity for me to go into a situation and pull my weight, but not have the show depend on me, which, I wasn't the star of the show, which was really great for the whole experience. I think that the best part, I guess I'll say the best part of the whole thing was um, I realized how kind this group of people are that made, Portlandia and Jonathan, he's like a, Gandhi kind of person, says very little and never stops trying to make the scene better, and is very loving and caring and nurturing. I think he was the mother and the father of the whole thing. And I think I found another family that I could realistically spend time with and be around and be a part of. I feel close to all those people. I just wrote Zach a email today saying that it's your mother. I'm checking on you to see how you're doing, because it just makes me laugh. That character, I really took ownership over those kids, and I really believe that I was their mother. So.
Yeah. If you can, what did he say? What did he reply?
He
Is he
hasn't
going
written me back yet because I got on this interview, so I don't know if because I don't see anything coming through because I turned that off, so I couldn't.
Oh, that's good.
But he was one of the first people to check on me. He FaceTimed me right when the pandemic started and wanted to make sure I was okay. And so he's such a kind person, he's the most reluctant superstar that I've ever worked with.
Oh man, you're checking out. You're looking out for Joe, just like any good mother and son.
How's your mom? Is she with us?
She's doing well. I'm living at home at the moment, so I'm still with her, and it's great. It's great spending this time with her, and she's fantastic. She's a real inspirational, always caring for other people, always looking after everyone in the community and stuff like that. So she's very. Yeah, I will. I'll tell you. It said hi. The last question is, as you said, this is a show about misfits coming together, both characters, but also maybe some of the actors, all these different misfits and eclectic group of people. And what was it like for yourself, one of those misfits, to win an Emmy Award and be sort of have everyone cheering for you in the stadium and standing up there? What was that experience like? And I think the Emmy's behind your head as well.
Yes, it is. The constant reminder how weak I am, that I need awards to function. No, this is my little area where I do interviews. So I put Christine there, my mom and dad. I put my nephew, actually, who has been taking care of me and watching out for me during this time.
Oh,
he actually put the Emmy up there. He goes, "You got to put the Emmy up there." I go, "Okay." I think that I felt like people really were happy I won. I felt like people were rooting for this underdog because you don't see people like Christine on TV very often. They're just there. You could count it on one hand how many people are like Christine on TV. They just aren't. And so that was really good. I think also it was a big win for my mom. That's one of the things I really thought, like, hey, this is for you too, Mom. Mom, we did it, I think is what I said when I went up there. And it was overwhelming for me. It still is a beautiful memory. And I just loved winning that Emmy, even though I know it's maybe to a lot of people seems silly, but when your peers vote you in for it, that's huge. When your peers say, "Hey, you're the best one this year," you say thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when your peers say, "Hey, you're the best of this," and one of my idols, Barney Fife, Don Knotts, I think he won it like 5 times in his career.
Yeah, very well.
And I'm thinking not just from Mandy and Mayberry, but I think from other shows. And I just thought he was a character. That was a family of kind of characters. Aunt B was very much like my mother was as a person. Physically, she resembled her. So those kind of things were good. But winning the Emmy pumped a whole bunch of new blood into me, and a whole bunch of new confidence, and a lot of gratitude and humility. I really am humbled by the idea that I was picked as the best supporting actor that year.
Well, Louie, you all the best for this year with the Emmy Awards. Thank you so much for talking with us today. And if you're watching this, you can go to goldderby.com to make your award predictions and watch other interviews with celebrities.